Dr. Wolf, our minister emeritus in this church, he was 84 years old this month. He and I had lunch this past Sunday, and in his words, the potential for this church right now is unbelievable. I always wanted a voice like that. He said that he's been waking up in the middle of the night recently since all this started and thinking, if I were only 40 years younger. Possibilities. Now, I've heard now that churches in Berkeley, California, a large church in Berkeley, California, one in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and another one down in Dallas, Texas, have already devoted a sermon in their service to telling the story of Bishop Pearson and All Souls and what's happening right here, right now. And do you know why the eyes are upon us? Because they realize that what's happening here is the fulfillment of what our tradition has long been hoping and working for. They see that we may be cracking the code. You know, we may be discovering the next significant step in the long march for religious freedom. Goes back to people being burned at the stake, goes back to Jesus, goes back. We may have discovered the step that's been eluding us for far too long. Since you are right here and we're in the midst of it, it can be hard for us to see. You know, we're standing too close to realize how big this is. This is big, what we're doing here. It'd be easy for you or I to lose perspective, to lose faith of the larger vision of what this is about in some of those moments when we're feeling impatient or uncomfortable in the transition, when we're walking 7 blocks from our car to come in, or trying to squeeze through that little birth canal of a foyer we've got where there's 900 people going each direction. But let's be honest, you know, there is some discomfort right now for all of us. And you know, whether you're from the church that just closed its doors or from the one that's just opened its doors even wider, let's be patient and let's bless one another for this important task that we are about. The stakes are very high. And yet, none of us are in jeopardy of being burned at the stake. And we got to keep this in some historical perspective here. You know, our sacrifice is real, but it's quite tiny in comparison to what others before us have had to endure in order to have religious freedom. For most of us, you know, we're being asked maybe to rearrange our schedule for an hour, especially the folks who've been part of this church for a long time. Maybe you used to come at 11:30, you want to come at 10 or vice versa. You know, but for most of us, you know, we're having to walk a few extra blocks, parking, shuttle parking, or whatever that is. But, you know, we're being asked to examine some of our assumptions, being able to step out of our comfort zone, expand our comfort zone a little bit. But, oh, what Michael Servetus and David Francis would do to have our problems. When we're not going to die on this cross. You know, we may have burdens, but we're not going to die on this crossroads. For the past 8 years, I've been hearing people talk about, you know, that there's a renaissance going on in this, just like a renaissance, new classes, new programs, people coming, and we've been doing a lot. Well, now we're in the midst of our Reformation and Enlightenment. Now, other churches may be willing to go on and be satisfied, keeping to relive the old Reformation and Enlightenment. But we here are taking the next step. Someone has to. And I like to think that our success will be a victory for all humanity. We can create one church, one body with many parts, and no one of us needs to cut off any part of ourselves. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.